So actually, we just want to quickly go through some of the protective measures that we can take to protect ourselves and also prevent the spread of the infection. I'm very sure everyone is well aware of the do's and don'ts, but there has also been a lot of false information and tension going around. So we all know that COVID-19 is the most recently discovered coronavirus. The common symptoms can range from a fever, a sore throat, having a runny nose, body aches, and mostly 80% of the infected individuals, they recover without getting seriously ill. But people with underlying health issues like people with asthma, people with hypertension, diabetes, heart diseases, they can develop a more serious form of the illness and start having breathing difficulty. So the route of infection is via the droplets, which are released into the air when an infected individual coughs or sneezes. Or these droplets can drop onto the surfaces and the objects lying in the vicinity and ultimately become the source of infection. So what can we do to protect ourselves? The first and foremost is regular and thorough hand washing. Using a soap and water is recommended, or alternatively, you can either use an alcohol-based hand rub. So I'll be quickly going through the steps of hand washing. So you wet your hands, take a good amount of soap or either an alcohol-based hand rub, and then you start off by rubbing your palms together in the front, followed by the back of the fingers with the back of the hand with the fingers interlocked, again the front with the fingers interlocked, then curve your knuckles together on each other and move forward and backwards. Then is the thumb. You take the thumb on the opposite palm in a rotatory manner, and also the area between the index finger and the thumb, and vice versa. And then finally taking the tips of your finger on the palm of your hand and rotating it, and vice versa. And finally the rubbing of your wrist. So it is advisable to follow all the steps of hand washing, most importantly prior to handling food, after going outside or coming into contact with infectious surfaces, and before touching your nose, mouth, and eyes. And secondly, you have to maintain a safe distance of almost like 1 meter minimum, that is 3 feet, from a person who is having symptoms, or avoid touching your eyes, nose, and the mouth without unwashed hands, as this can be portal of entry of the virus. Also, you have to maintain a good respiratory hygiene. That is, you can either use the bend of your elbow, or you can use a dry tissue paper when you cough and sneeze, and immediately dispose of this tissue paper in a closed bin. Stay at home if you feel sick or if you are showing symptoms, and seek medical care if you start having cough, fever, or breathing difficulty. Avoid crowded places and public gatherings. Avoid touching things which might be potentially infectious, like the hand railings. Avoid spitting in public. Avoid travel if you are showing symptoms like fever and cough, and update yourself regularly on the travel advisory. And when do we wear a mask? So currently there has been a lot of craze going on regarding this mask wearing, but right now WHO recommends wearing a mask only when you're ill, or only when you're showing symptoms, or when you're taking care of a sick individual. So currently there's no evidence to prove that wearing a mask actually protects a healthy individual from the infection. And owing to the worldwide shortage of masks going on, WHO strongly recommends using the mask wisely. And coming to food safety, it is recommended to wash the hands in between handling raw and cooked food. For meat products, you can safely consume them once you thoroughly and carefully cook them. And stay well informed about all the latest developments from reliable websites like your WHO website or the government portals. And from the treatment point of view, currently there is no vaccination or medication for the infection. So the most effective way will be to follow your hand hygiene. If, however, you happen to wear a mask, the first thing is to follow your hand hygiene. Then you take the mask, make sure that the metallic strip goes over your nose. You're not supposed to touch the inside of the nose, inside of the mask. Then you put this over your, sorry.
Don't do that. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that.
You put this over your mouth. Place the straps behind your ears, and make sure to pinch this metallic strip over your nose so that no air is leaking out from the sides. After you are done with the mask, take out the mask without touching the front of the mask. You unlace it from behind the ears and then discard it off properly, followed by a hand hygiene, and avoid reusing single-use masks. So for now, that's all we can do. However, in the midst of all this confusion and difficult time, let's continue to uphold each other in prayers. Thank you.